The big states at 8 p.m. today. We tell you about states which could have major upsets in store. I'm Padmaja Joshi, and without further ado, we are going to delve straight into the numbers and tell you what these key states are going to throw up this time around. And getting you started, we are going to begin with the state of Karnataka. A major upset in the assembly elections for the Bharatiya Janata Party, where it ended up giving the government to the Congress party. A well-coordinated campaign where the Congress swept to power with Siddaramaiah as chief minister. What happens in the Lok Sabha election? And the BJP and JDS together are getting 23 out of 28 seats here. The Congress 5 seats and others are at none. Let's take a look at the vote share now. And the vote share as compared to 2019, we'll show you comparison in just a bit, but the BJP and JDS together have 53%, the Congress 44%, and others are at 3%. Let's take a look at the comparison of the seats between 2019 and 2024. You have the BJP at 25 in 2019. Now the projection is it will be at 21 or 22. So the Congress, despite a thumping win in the assembly election, is not able to capitalize much on its gains there, and only a gain of 3 to 5 seats is happening. The JDS pretty much is at the same spot. Let's take a look now at the poll of polls for Karnataka. What does it say? The poll of polls again says that you have Access My India, NDA plus. All right, the PMark exit poll gives 22, Matrice gives 22, and we also give about 22, 20, 20, 21 or 22. Let me quickly introduce to you the guest joining us now. Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson of the BJP. Cephalogist Jai Mrugh with me here in the studio. JVC Sriram, political strategist and commentator. Tushar Gupta, political analyst. Dr. Akashdeep Muni, political analyst. Tehseen Poonawala, all here with us. And we'll go state by state. First up, Karnataka. JVC, what do you make of these results? 21 or 22
I think
seats?
it's a stupendous performance, considering the fact that BJP had a drubbing in the assembly election. It is an vote for Modi, and we need to also look at how much of Lingayats are back to BJP. Because Lingayats had moved away in the assembly election. Now, if Lingayats plus Okaligas have come back to BJP, then that's a big story there. And we also need to look at Bangalore rural seat. Bangalore rural seat, is DK Suresh winning or is losing? If he is losing, then Tehseen Poonawala, I can tell you, there is going to be a conspiracy angle between DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah.
No, and there are a lot of seats in the north as well, which are going the Congress's way. So what will be interesting to see, which are these seats that the Congress is gaining? What is your sense, Tehseen?
My sense is, see, I have no reason to doubt your numbers, but I don't think the Lingayat vote, despite Shettar, etc., shifting, has gone decisively to the BJP. I do believe very strongly in Karnataka, the Congress will get 14 to 15 seats. I do believe this extremely strongly. Forget whatever I say as rhetoric. I'm not saying that. I do believe the Congress is an extremely strong organization, and it's a very resourceful organization. And both the states of Congress in Telangana and Karnataka, they fought very, very hard. They have no shortage of resources. Aggressive chief ministers and a deputy chief minister in DK. So I don't see why the Lingayat vote has gone back. In fact, yes, some amount of Lingayat votes would have gone, but not. The Vokaliga votes, the minorities vote, the Kurba vote, the SC vote is by and large with the Congress. I don't see those numbers changing. We'll do a slicing and dicing
of the caste-wise data as well, but from what I know right now, the Kurba vote, over 50% of the Kurba vote has actually gone to the BJP.
How?
Among Vokaligas, the majority vote has gone to the BJP, and among the Lingayats also, majority vote has gone. That's what we are seeing in the exit poll. Jay, what do you make of these numbers?
I would look at history. 2013 assembly elections, the BJP got about 39-40 seats. Yet 2014 parliamentary elections, the BJP was 17 on 28. 2000 cut to 10 years later, 2023 assembly elections, the BJP is around 65. So therefore, a parliamentary number like 23 does not look unreal or unnatural. I think it's perfectly in tune with the last trend.
Sanju Verma, you have reason to smile. Most people predicted a complete decimation of the BJP in the Lok Sabha in Karnataka. You have problems. You still have problems, the corruption tag, the infighting, but 22. Last time you had 25, this time you have 22.
Padmaja, if there's one person on the panel who's smiling more than me, it's Tehseen. I say that on a lighter note. But coming to the more pertinent
I'm smiling
point.
looking at you smile. Sorry, I'm smiling looking at you smile.
Okay, good. Good, Tehseen. I'm not in the mood to fight today because the numbers on Padmaja's, screen, they tell a story. And the story is, फिर से इस बार तीसरी बार मोदी सरकार. But anyway, coming to the moot point, I think, your colleague Jay made a very interesting point. BJP's worst performance in Karnataka assembly elections was 2013 when we got 40 seats only. But in the subsequent Lok Sabha elections, our tally was 19 seats, which then became, 17 to 19 seats is what we got in 2014. It was again sub 20 in 2019. We got 25 seats in 2019. The limited point is this. Karnataka Congress's best performance in last 3 Lok Sabha elections, 2009, 14 and 2019 is 9 seats. And the BJP's worst performance in Karnataka in the last 3 Lok Sabha elections is 17 seats. So look at the disparity. The so-called main opposition party ki best performance is limited to 9 seats on the higher side. And the BJP's worst performance on the lower side is limited to 17 seats. I mean, look at the disparity. But the more important point is this. The numbers don't always tell the entire story, though they give you a good sense. I think one very important point which we have to understand is that while DK Shivakumar comes from the Vokaliga community, the Kuruba community is where Siddaramaiah comes from. And let's be very clear. This election is not about Lingayats versus Vokaligas versus Kurubas alone. This election 2024 Lok Sabha Karnataka is a mandate about the misgovernance in the last 1 year. Barely a few days back, the Karnataka Siddaramaiah government completed a year. They said 10 kg ration free denge. They went back on that and blamed Narendra Modi and the Food Corporation of India. And Bhai Sahab, when you said we'll give 10 kg ration free, did you ask the Food Corporation of India? Food Corporation of India's buffer stock is meant for contingencies, not to, adhere to election promises. Then wait a minute. Look at the number of Hindu saints, seers and 3 or 4 Jain saints and seers murdered in Karnataka. Look at the case of Neha Hiremat. It took a Narendra Modi, a JP Nadda and an Amit Shah to bring focus. Okay. And of course, media houses like Times Now. DK Shivkumar ne kaha kuch hua hi nahi.
Anti-incumbency already kicking in Karnataka. Tehseen Poonawala.
I don't believe these numbers. I believe all your other numbers, but I don't believe Karnataka numbers for sure. I believe the Congress is getting 14 to 15, worst case scenario. But on the rice thing, I just want to say that rice from the scheme, that was the flagship scheme of the Prime Minister, the rice was being sold by the government, the union government, for alcohol and not being given to poor people. I think that is uncalled for. The same FCI from Chhattisgarh. From the Chhattisgarh procurement allowed it, where it was the Congress government. That's unfair. You can give rice for alcohol. You can't give it for poor people.
Okay, very quickly, Sanju Verma respond, but let's not digress, please. Sanju Verma respond to this. Let's not digress, please.
I wanted to correct
can
that.
I please, Tehseen?
Yeah, please.
Padmaja, the beauty is that Tehseen can lie with a straight face.
Let
me be very clear. The Food Corporation of India has a buffer stock which is meant to be used for contingencies. When there is a drought or there are floods and suddenly the food production takes a dramatic, fall or, for any other reasons, but it is certainly not meant to, please keep quiet. It is certainly not meant for election promises by a debilitated Congress party जो कहती है 10 kg ration free देंगे, बाद में कहती है अरे हमने तो promise किया था, but Food Corporation of India went back.
Okay. Let's stick to the numbers right now. I want to go across to Andhra Pradesh very quickly. Let's take a look at what the numbers for Andhra Pradesh are right now, and this perhaps is going to be one of the most sought after numbers. YSRCP is at 14 here and BJP plus is at 11. Now it's neck and neck. So clearly you've got the YSRCP's hold on Andhra Pradesh weakening. What's the vote share like? Let's take a look at the vote share in Andhra Pradesh. 50% with the YSRCP, but the Janasena, TDP and BJP together are at 48%. Congress not really making much of a dent. This is quite spectacular, Jay, you would agree. And BJP seems to have made the right choice of going along with the TDP instead of the YSRCP.
Well, actually, it was the TDP which was courting the BJP for the last 3 years. I mean, even without the BJP's nod, they were telling all their party cadre, we're going to have an alliance with BJP. We're going to be. They needed the Janasena and the BJP to take on the YSRCP, which seems to have. Looking on the YSRCP side, what could have worked for them? Of all their Navratnalu schemes, other than one scheme, which is Rayatu Bharosa, all the other schemes are focused on women. Money for child goes to the woman's account. Money for ABC goes to the woman's account. I think that's one thing which is working for him. Therefore, he's been able to tide over the anti-incumbency, or rather provide a good fight.
What has worked for the alliance?
For the alliance, frankly, see, there is a normal anti-incumbency against the YSRCP, which would happen. The TDP is seeing a bounce back in its old strongholds. The Janasena was with the TDP last time, but not the BJP. With whatever little acceleration the BJP has given them, it being a joint election with the Lok Sabha election, it has managed to close the gap with YSRCP.
Okay, let's take a look at the comparison.
The TDP never went below its 45% vote share in any of the elections.
It did.
44,
It did.
yeah.
Below its 40% vote share. 40% vote share. Look at the comparison over here.
Yeah.
In 2019, the YSRCP was at 22 out of 25 seats.
Yeah.
This time, it has been whittled down by almost 7 to 8 seats. From 22, it has come to 13 to 15. The TDP from 3 has gone up to 9. The BJP will win 2 seats and the Jan Sena will get 1. I think it is contesting 2 seats? 2 or 3? 2 seats. So out of the 2 seats it's contesting, it is winning 1 seat. What do you make of this, JVC?
So, see, I think, BJP is the biggest gainer here. Because if you look at it, BJP had 1.96% vote share, which is one of the lowest in the entire country at Andhra in 2019. Now the alliance is doing a big favor for BJP. But I would say, looking at these numbers, because when I look at other poll numbers, they're giving a bigger edge to TDP and BJP alliance.
Does this mean that Jagan's government is over now?
I think Jagan will find it very difficult to form the government again, because the point here is there is an urban anger. There is a rural, probably a fascination for YSRCP, but there is an urban anger.
If I'm not mistaken, in fact, the entire deadline of Hyderabad as capital runs out tomorrow, right?
Exactly.
It runs out tomorrow. And today you have got, so basically there is a lot of urban distress, a lot of rural schemes, businesses suffering. So I met a few businessmen in Hyderabad who said that we don't know, there are so many doles going to the villages, but businesses suffering.
Even Reddy people, business people, they are not this time voting for YSRCP. For the simple fact. The simple fact of the matter is that YSRCP's vote base, which was basically based on Reddy's, have now moved towards scheduled caste, minority, and a little bit of OBC. So that is going to play out. And if Kamma and Reddy are going to vote for TDP, BJP alliance, then YSRCP is in trouble, because both these communities are less in number, but highly influential.
But despite the most audacious gamble taken on by Sharmila, not really paying off for the Congress.
Yeah, but what else could the Congress do? They had to, at least some elections you fight for 5. I mean, the Congress was wiped out in Andhra Pradesh. I think they're 2% vote share now, 3?
Exactly.
So, I mean, you've got to try and build your organization up. And if it doesn't do it now, but in government in Telangana and Karnataka, it'll never be able to do it. So the Congress had no choice. They had to do it. And they thought that they could get the legacy of her father.
The Prime Minister has just tweeted right now. Remember, today was a meeting of the INDI alliance. The Prime Minister has responded, I think, to that meeting where he says the opportunistic Indie alliance failed to strike a chord with the voters. They are casteist, communal and corrupt. This alliance aimed to protect a handful of dynasties, failed to present a futuristic vision for the nation. Through their campaign, they only enhanced their expertise on one thing. Modi bashing such regressive politics has been rejected by the people. So I think the first trends coming in of the exit poll, and the Prime Minister saying they are communal, casteist and corrupt, and they have been rejected by the people.
This from the most honorable Prime Minister who faced his elections on MMM, Mangal Sutra, Muslim and Mujra.
Well, you may disagree with him, but clearly the people have bought into that narrative.
Page number 8,
Congress manifesto points number
Listen.
6, 7, 8.
Okay, let's
you
not go
guys
back
are
to the
very-
manifesto right now. Let's not go back to the manifesto right now. Let's put out the numbers. Sanju Verma, I think, wants to come in. Sanju Verma, Andhra Pradesh clearly made the right choice in going with the rising sun instead of the sinking YSRCP, even though they have been very, very friendly to you.
You know, Padmaja, what is interesting in Andhra Pradesh is that look at how Congress has been marginalized. It is again a two-horse race between the YSRCP and the BJP with just a 2% vote share difference. But I have one point to make. I slightly disagree with your number on one count. You know, while I do agree that our vote share might be 48, 49%, I think given BJP's historical ability to translate vote share into votes far more efficiently than other parties, the 48% vote share of BJP will not lead to just 11 seats. I think BJP alone in Andhra Pradesh will get at least 17 to 18 seats, and I'm being conservative. And this is not bombast or bravado speaking, but please understand that corruption charges against Jagan Reddy have begun to stuck. I don't want to get into the fact that some people from within his own party say, Arey, he's amassed wealth of 2.5 lakh crore, and some people conservatively put that estimate at 43,000 crore. But the big promises he made about development, especially of North Andhra Pradesh, you know, he did nothing. He spoke about privatization of Visakhapatnam steel plant. He did nothing. The Modi government gave him money for 3 industrial corridors, and that money is still lying unspent. So I think the people are very smart. This is a vote against